You have a question, yes, please.
Hello, thank you for coming and visiting us in New York. I'd like to ask, how do you approach every new project? I'd like to know a little bit about how do you choose every new plot or language challenge in your case? And could you describe a little bit your creative process, just very generally?
Pablo can pick up that.
Bueno, pienso una novela durante mucho tiempo sin escribir una línea.
I think of a novel for a long time before writing one single line.
Después hago un esquema detallado de los hechos que van a ocurrir en la novela.
Then I write a scheme, a structure, a detailed structure, what I'm gonna, all the things that are going to happen in the novel.
Después escribo un primer borrador en cuadernos escolares.
I like this. Then I write a first draft in school notebooks, right?
Y después la paso a la computadora.
And then I put in everybody took that. What is the brand of the school books?
¿Cuál?
La marca, the brand of the school book.
Y La Prida o
Good.
Gloria.
It was a particular gift for Argentines here, a memoir gift. And your novel, by the way, is about to come in English soon, right? Have you ever think, let me ask you this, you've been in New York before, but not for long periods of time, for what you told me, just a short visits like Jorge. What's your impression of, this is a very strange city where you can talk Spanish all the time, and at the same time it's this English language country. How do you feel as someone coming from Argentina into this environment?
Bueno, la otra vez vine con mi esposa, que ella siempre me organiza la vida.
Last time I came with my wife, who organizes my life.
Así que cuando no estoy con ella me siento siempre perdido.
Without her, I'm lost.
Pero bueno, es una ciudad fantástica que se vive sobre todo la mezcla de gente.
A fantastic city with all the mixture of peoples.
Y la mezcla entre la modernidad y la tradición.
And this mixture blending between modernity and tradition. And yes, please, go ahead. Another question.
Okay. I'd still love to hear more about your creative processes.
Go ahead.
But I also have another question, so maybe I should wait. I don't know. Okay, so I guess one thing I wanted to raise was another point, and just curious your thoughts, sort of the contrast between maybe books about Stockholm that are not published in Stockholm, which I think is very interesting. I remember speaking with someone at the Czech Ministry of Culture. They were translating a book about taxi cabs that was written by a Czech author into English, and they were so excited that I would be so excited about it. And I remember not being very excited about it. But in contrast to Democracy in America by de Tocqueville, which I find fascinating, and a book that knows our country, or knew our country at a young age better than we knew ourselves. And so that sort of idea as a possible antithesis, but maybe it won't qualify. And then my second thought is a question. Jorge, I was so fascinated by your idea about the changing identity of books in Latin America, gone from a past that you alluded to where books were meant for cultural enrichment to a present where they're both for consumption and cultural enrichment. And I just wanted to get some of your other ideas, if you would weigh in on the changing identity of books in Latin America. Maybe how that relates to the United States, but I've asked enough. Thanks.
That's for you, Jorge.
That's for me?
Yeah. About the changing nature of books in Latin America, the reference you made before.
Or everyone else in the panel, because I was curious.
Okay. Anybody else? Are books changing? What do you mean when you say talk about the changing scenario?
I just remembered from Jorge's speech that books were going from an identity in Latin America as a form of cultural enrichment to a contemporary identity where any marketing scheme was fair game, and books were for entertainment and for consumption.
I think you were referring to the general publishing world, not just for Latin America, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But there is also change, do you think, in books, in narrative, in kinds of narratives?
Yeah, but mainly for the reason I said before is because now we have multinational publishing houses in our countries. Before we used to have local publishing houses. They were rather small, but now with these big institutions, they tend to use the new rules of the market,
Right.
including bestsellers list. I mean, the bestsellers list, for instance, they are new in Colombia, rather new in Colombia. They've been like, let's say, from 10 to, I say 8 years ago. But before we didn't have those lists. And that's what I said, that there is a new dynamic in the market.
Good. And also in the old days, the old family-established companies, family-owned companies, they used to publish best-selling books just to make their earnings and satisfy the pleasure of publishing the books they wanted to publish, right? It was in the old days. Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, I just wanted to add that someone, I think it was you who said that the best way to make famous a book is by word of mouth, right? I think you said something like that.
Yeah.
And no, thinking about the new distribution and what's happening in the world with in here and in Latin America and everywhere about the big publishing houses and the globalization of culture and all that. But I wanted to say that is not exactly true for poetry. That if there is a place where what you're saying is true, is for poetry. Books of poetry are still today really circulating in a very, very, a special way, by giving the books, travel by the mail. I mean, it's very interesting.
And internet has facilitated also all
Yeah,
that.
the blogs, yeah.